Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So yesterday night, Manchester United come from behind to beat Fulham 2-1 at Craven Cottage. We are now back top of the Premier League and we are unbeaten in our last 17 Premier League away games. We have equalled our record from the 1998-99 season. So let's get into it. I thought Fulham started on the front foot. Fulham took the lead in the 5th minute. It was Lookman that scored the goal. I thought Lookman was one of Fulham's best players. He had quite a few shots in the game and he did look dangerous at times going forward. But as soon as we went 1-0 down, we started to grow into the game. Our equaliser came from Edison Cavani. It was a goalkeeping howler from Areola. But it was good play building up to the goal. Good interplay from Fred and Bruno Fernandes. It was Bruno Fernandes that had put the cross in. Bruno Fernandes was unlucky not to get his name on the score sheet because he had chances in the game. He did hit the post. He also had a shot, produced a very good save from Areola. Solskjaer did mention Bruno Fernandes in the press conference prior to this game, and he defended Bruno Fernandes and he denies that he needs a rest. We also got denied a penalty because Fred had been brought down by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Paul Pogba, his goal was absolutely exceptional. He hit it with his left foot and it went into the far bottom corner. I think it was like 20 yards out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says that Paul Pogba can do everything. But to Paul Pogba's credit, he has done very, very well recently. There's still a chance, he could leave Manchester United in the summer. Edison Cavani, he was also unlucky not to have another goal because he had a great chance in the second half. David De Gea, he didn't really have a lot to do, to be honest with you, but he did make a fantastic save to deny Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek was Fulham's best player in the second half. But Fulham did put the pressure on towards the end of the game. We've got a very, very good record against Fulham. Fulham have not beaten us for 11 years. And we knew, it was going to be a tough game because prior to this game, Fulham had only lost one of their last 7 and they've seemed to have improved since they got that 1-1 draw with Liverpool back in early December. And Solskjaer did mention Fulham in the press conference. He says they are well structured. They've got a good head coach in Scott Parker. And he's mentioned that, they have made good signings. Probably Fulham are going to go back down. You know, they are relegation fodder. But yeah, so there was some good performers for Manchester United. I thought Eric Bailly did quite well at the back. He made some good blocks and made some good interceptions. Since he started playing again, he has done very, very well. Bailly actually nearly scored an own goal though towards the end. I think it was Mitrovic's shot. It actually came off Eric Bailly. And I certainly prefer him ahead of Victor Lindelof. Now, I think Harry Maguire, he did well defensively. Got to give Harry Maguire a lot of credit because he has rejuvenated himself. Don't forget, before the start of this season, he had early season troubles because he did have that incident in Greece. Despite Harry Maguire's good performances though, he still wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. Luke Shaw, he enjoyed another good game. Defensively, good. I thought he also got forward well, just like he did in the Liverpool game recently. Luke Shaw's actually our first choice left back, surprisingly, because I thought when we got Tellez in, Tellez would have been our first choice left back. To be honest with you, Tellez hasn't really played a lot, since he came in, but don't forget at one point he did have COVID. But yeah, my concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. He was injured earlier on this season, and he had a couple of periods out of injury last season as well. And like I said, Paul Pogba, he was exceptional. Like I said, scored a very, very good goal. That was a magic moment. But I just thought Paul Pogba was dominant. I thought he kept the ball well. He got in good positions. His energy levels were good. And that's very, very good to see. Fred, I also thought he enjoyed a good game. Helped his teammates out well. Edison Cavani, he enjoyed a good game. His movement in and around the box was very, very good. Like I said, got the equaliser. Edison Cavani has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. And not so long ago, he was serving a 3-match ban because of the racist comment that he put on social media last month. Obviously, Solskjaer confirmed he had apologised for that. But yeah, Ollie was talking about Cavani not so long ago, saying that, he's definitely a starter for Man United. He says we're already looking to extend his contract. And Solskjaer revealed the first thing that Edison Cavani asked him when he came into the club, and that's whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. We got him on a 1-year contract. There's an option of a second year, but we got him on a 3. Mason Greenwood obviously played yesterday night, and I think he had a pretty good game as well. Made some good runs. I haven't really had much of a perception though on Mason Greenwood this season because he hasn't really played as much as we all expected him to, but earlier on in the season he did have personal issues. At one point he was out with injury, and at one point he was out with illness, but Ollie's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. So yeah, there was good performers. We obviously brought substitutions on in the game. We saw Scott McTominay come on. We saw Nemanja Matic come on. And we also saw Marcus Rashford come on. They came on late though, didn't they? Solskjaer says Man United have mentally improved and we are physically robust. And Solskjaer says them extra 2 points are vital for Man United. But certainly, the performances are improving. Certain players are improving, which is very, very good to see. And we can win the Premier League this season. But there's quite a few teams in it, City could win it, Liverpool could win it, Leicester could win it, Tottenham could win it, and even Everton could win it. Now, if we do win the Premier League, it will be our first Premier League title since 2013, and it will be our 21st title overall. And it'd be a remarkable achievement if we won the Premier League this season. It really, really would. And then certainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be the long-term manager for Man United. Don't forget these 3 trophies that we can pursue this season: the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Europa League. And I think we're going to win at least 1 trophy this season, and I said it's very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under Solskjaer. We haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. We are unbeaten as well now in our last, 12 or 13 Premier League games. We haven't lost since the 1-0 defeat to Arsenal back in November last year. But honestly, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is on course to earn himself a new Man United contract, like I recently said, reflecting on the progress he has made in the last year or so. I think Solskjaer is more than halfway through now his 3-year deal. Solskjaer did sign a 3-year contract with the club back in March 2019 when he got the job permanently. This is his second full season as Manchester United manager, and I did say, this season was always going to be a big season for him. But I'd say, reflecting now on he's been at the club, Solskjaer has gained some managerial experience. He's learned quite a bit on the job. Maybe there's still a few things he's got to learn. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career, because obviously before he came to us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. He enjoyed a very, very short tenure at Cardiff. He got relegated with Cardiff, and that's the reason he got sacked from Cardiff. But yes, Solskjaer's been in charge of Man United now for over 2 years. But yeah, there's a lot of United fans that are now starting to believe more and more that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager for the club. Obviously, he has been criticised a lot, Solskjaer, in the 2 years or so he's been at Man United, especially earlier on this season. We was very, very critical of him, reflecting how inconsistent we was. And there was a lot of Man United fans demanding him out, including me, but with how good we have been in recent months, our perceptions have slowly started to change on him. But yeah, he's going to be given at least another season at the football club. Now, I've heard, obviously, things coming out saying that, we've got to start beating the big teams if we are to be genuine title contenders, and we can't beat the big teams under Solskjaer. That has been proven so far this season, because we haven't beaten Tottenham. We didn't beat City, didn't beat Chelsea, didn't beat Leicester, didn't beat Liverpool recently, but that may not matter. It may not matter. But we did beat a few big teams last season. I still think that we have got to make signings this year, if we are to be a top team. And I think we are looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. Now, earlier on in this window, Solskjaer gave us an update on our January transfer plans. Don't forget, he said that January signings are unlikely. And he recently said that signings are long term, not a quick fix. But Solskjaer has recently admitted that there could be further more departures in this January transfer window. He actually said in the press conference prior to this game that 1 or 2 more players could be leaving. So obviously we recently saw Timothy Fosu-Mensah leave the club. He joined Bayer Leverkusen. We made the right decision by getting rid of Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Solskjaer's already confirmed that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave in this January window because he said that their contracts won't be extended. Will Phil Jones leave in this January transfer window? You already know the news on Jesse Lingard. Apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in disagreement over Jesse Lingard's future. Apparently, he said that Solskjaer wants Jesse Lingard to stay this month. Lingard doesn't leave in this January window. I presume he'll leave in the summer because I think he's into the final. Is it 6 months of his contract? I think Ighalo will leave because his loan expires at the end of this month. There's obviously been rumours of Daniel James going out on loan because he's lost his place in the team, and there's also been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan because he's now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles, and he seldom plays. And I think more players could leave Man United in the summer. Like I said, Paul Pogba could still leave in the summer. If Paul Pogba does leave, it will be the summer. It won't be in this January transfer window. You know, like I updated you yesterday, Duncan Castles came out and said that Paul Pogba's trying to set up a summer move away from the club with his recent performances. And, you know, Fabrizio Romano, who was a very reliable Italian journalist, he said that Paul Pogba will leave in the summer, providing that an agreement is reached. We have revealed our asking price. We do want around £75 million. But there's a possibility chance Paul Pogba could stay. I think Juan Mata's going to leave in the summer because reports were coming out yesterday saying that Juan Mata is closing on his Man United exit after an admission by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Juan Mata doesn't really play a lot now anyway, but he's had a good career at Man United, and, you know, do you think we could sell Nemanja Matic in the summer? Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said that our fine form justifies the club's support. So what he means in that aspect is that, you know, the backing he has received has played a part in our good run of form. But, you know, Ed Woodward did promise Solskjaer, you know, that he will back him in this January transfer window. Because I think you can say in the transfer windows he has enjoyed so far, you know, he hasn't really been backed enough, especially last summer because we missed out on all of his priority targets. And, you know, this is why I did say, you know, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, and a lot of United fans have been demanding the board out. Woodward's been with us since 2012, and the Glazers have been with us since 2005. Woodward did say, though, didn't he, towards the end of last year, that we will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer, I still think he has made good signings as Man United manager. You know, he has spent over £200 million at the club. I also like the way that Solskjaer has promoted the youth. You know, he's obviously, when he came into the club, you know, he said the young players would get given their chances, and they have, to his credit. And he's also brought more young players into Manchester United. Don't forget, he recently provided us with some news on Amad Diallo Traore. This was prior to the game against Fulham. And he said Amad Diallo Traore could be part of the first team squad in the next few weeks. We got Amad Diallo Traore, in a deal worth £37 million with add-ons included, and we paid £19 million up front. And I presume Facundo Pellistri at some point will get his opportunities in the first team. Don't forget, he's had coronavirus. But like I say, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. Now, yesterday I did give you the news on Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. Man United could make a move for him in the summer. I'm very sceptical he'll leave this year. I think Erling Haaland's expected to leave next year when his £68 million release clause becomes active. Erling Haaland's father, Alfin Haaland, he's spoken about, the Man United links. The Athletic recently said that Chelsea are looking to get him early because Chelsea are in trouble at the moment and Frank Lampard's job is in serious danger. City have been in for Haaland and so too have Real Madrid. I think Haaland said he actually wanted to go to Real Madrid. Back in 2019, we wanted Erling Haaland, don't forget. Woodward and Solskjaer went to Norway to meet up with Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. It was a shame that we missed out on him because Solskjaer knows the player well. Solskjaer was the one that gave Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Mulder. But yeah, Dortmund got Haaland. He's been at Dortmund now just over a year. Dortmund paid just over £17 million for him, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. And he is a striker, and I think Man United do need a striker. And he is only very, very young, so he has got a lot of development in him. But if Haaland was to be sold this year, we'd probably have to break our transfer record. We'd probably have to pay around £90 or £100 million for the player. Now, you already know the news on Jadon Sancho. He's still on our agenda. We believe we can get him for less than £100 million this year. Now, there's been reports saying that Man United could complete the signing of Jadon Sancho this month. That was stemming from Raphael Hoggenstein, who's a German football expert, but it is actually unlikely that he'll leave Dortmund this month. But negotiations could resume in spring. But I think Jadon Sancho does want a Borussia Dortmund exit. France Football via Sports Witness recently said that Borussia Dortmund are looking for replacements for him, and apparently they've identified their replacement. Sancho made an admission earlier on this season saying that he's enjoyed a difficult season with Dortmund, but he's happy to be back among the goals. And the Borussia Dortmund CEO explained why Sancho's struggled this season because he was expected to join Man United last summer. He was our number one priority target last summer. And it said a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed. Even a contract had been agreed, but we just couldn't come to an agreement on an actual fee. So that was a stumbling block. Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million, or was it £110 million, but we wasn't willing to meet that valuation. Back in September, we put a bid in of just over 91 million, but Dortmund had rejected that. Fabrizio Romano's spoken about the Sancho saga a few times. Bild's Christian Fark also spoken a lot about it last year. But Dortmund made it clear to us that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City. He has got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. And don't forget, we was willing to offer him that number 7 shirt. The news on Declan Rice. This was stemming from ESPN, saying that Man United are set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. I think West Ham are looking for around £70 million. You already know the news on Daya Upamecano from RB Leipzig. He's available for around £39 million at the end of the season, because that's when his release clause does become active. And Sergio Ramos, he's recently been on our agenda. But like I said to you on my video yesterday, I think there's 3 areas where we've got to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, a world-class midfielder, and we do need a centre-half. Definitely. But like I said to you, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does deserve a lot of credit with the progress he's made. No one thought, we'd have been top, past the midway point of January 2021. You wouldn't have even thought we'd have been joint top earlier on this month and towards the end of last year. So it just shows you some good results do change the complexion of things. Solskjaer did get us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on in the season. We obviously lost that game to Man City 2-0. That was disappointing. But City are a good team. They could win the league this season. They're especially very, very good in the EFL Cup because they have won it for the last 3 seasons of City. And they have reached their 4th consecutive League Cup final. You've got to credit Solskjaer for what he did last season, his first full season. He guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and also got us 3rd. I think his decision-making is starting to improve more and more as well, which is a good thing. I just want his decision-making to be good persistently because he has been a lot of games at Man United where his decision-making hasn't been so good. And I did say that's one of my biggest concerns about Solskjaer. Ole has managed over 100 games now as Man United manager in all competitions. And I think his win ratio now will be pretty good. But putting the stats into circulation now, you can say that Solskjaer is the best manager since Ferguson. He was certainly a much better manager than David Moyes was. But yeah, we've been very, very good away from home. We've been much better away from home than we have been at home. We haven't been that good at home, to be honest with you. I think we've only won 6 games at Old Trafford in all competitions this season. I think we've won 4 at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Don't forget, we was enjoying our worst start at Old Trafford for 50 years. We deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer. Because if Solskjaer had been at any other club and with how inconsistent was earlier on in the season, maybe they would have sacked him. But yeah, Solskjaer could have easily been sacked. We've enjoyed bad periods under him. He was lucky not to be sacked after us getting knocked out of the Champions League. Lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. Lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season. But like I said, with Solskjaer being a club legend, our board have a soft stance on him. I think if that had been any other manager, probably there would have been sacked. If we hadn't have beaten Everton in the league earlier on in the season, I think that could have ended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Manchester United manager. But even if we had sacked him when we've been inconsistent under him, it wouldn't have solved anything anyway because not all of the blame stems from the manager. When you're inconsistent, obviously some players have got to take responsibility as well. But don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to replace Solskjaer. Pochettino was the favourite to come in after Jose Mourinho got sacked. We're not even really known as a sacking football club. Despite the fact we sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left, and that was obviously Moyes. Sacked him after 10 months, sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. And we've spent over £1 billion on players since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and we've brought around 37 players in. So our next game is Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round at Old Trafford. That is on Sunday. The preview will be coming up for that later on today, or it will be tomorrow. And our next league game is Sheffield United. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.